Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Explain Maths. So in this video, I am going to do the factorization of the algebraic expression which is of the form ax² plus bx plus c. And I have taken questions from R.S. Aggarwal exercise 70, question number 29 to question number 42. So this type of algebraic expression factorization is not in your NCERT textbook, but it is going to be very helpful in grade 9. So I thought of covering this also. So let's begin the class. So we will see how to factorize expression of the form ax² plus bx plus c. So the rule is we have to split b, the middle term, in two parts such that the sum of those two numbers should be b and the product should be the product of a and c. So now I will be giving you one example such that this rule will become more clear. So I have taken example as 2x² plus 9x plus 10. Now here I have to find two numbers whose sum will be 9 and whose product will be the product of 2 and 10, which is 20. Okay, that's what we have to find. So we have to find two numbers whose sum will be 9 and the product will be 2 into 10, which will give me 20. So now we have to think for some combination where I can get the sum as 9 and the product as 20. So you can do like this, start finding out the factors of 20. So first is I can take 2 and 10, right? Product of 2 and 10 is 20, but sum is not 9. So this is not the option. Then 3 table, it does not come. Then 4 table, 4 times 5 will give me 20. And if I add 4 plus 5, I am going to get 9. So it means my numbers will be, two numbers will be 4 and 5. So now I have to write it like 2x square plus 4x plus 5x plus 10. So hope it is clear now how to split the middle term. Next, I have to take common from the first two terms. So I can see 2x is common here. So if I take 2x common, in the first term I am left with x. In the second term I am left with 2. Now in the third and fourth term I can see 5 is a common factor. So if I take 5 common, it will be x plus 2. Now if you can see here, x plus 2 is present here also, here also. So I can take x plus 2 common. So from the first term I am left with 2x and in the second term I am left with plus 5. So this is the factorization. So again I am repeating it. What you have to do, you have to split the middle term in such a way the sum should be 9. Okay, you have to find two numbers whose sum should be 9 and the product should be the product of a and c. Here a is 2 and c is 10. So product should be 20. So you have to see so many combinations where you are getting this sum as 9 and product as 20. That only two numbers you have to choose and you have to split the middle term. Okay. So now I will be solving the questions from R.S. Aggarwal. Okay. So let's begin. So R.S. Aggarwal exercise 70 question number 29. So here if you see it is written 3x square plus 10x plus 8. Okay. So you have to find two numbers whose sum will be 10 and the product will be 3 into 8, which is 24. So now you have to think which two numbers will give the sum as 10 and product as 24. Sometimes it will strike in your mind immediately. Sometimes it will take time. So it may take time sometimes. Okay, so no need to worry. You have to choose all the possible options. So if I can see 2 table 24 comes, right? 2 and 12 will give me 24, but the sum is not 10. Next I can take 3 times 8. 3 8s are also 24, but again sum is not 10. Next 4 times 6 is also 24 and the sum 4 plus 6 will give me 10. It means now I have to split it like 3x square plus 4x plus 6x plus 8. And then I have to take the common factor. So from the first two term, I can take x as common, right? So I will be left with, if I take x common here in the first term, I will be left with 3x plus 4. And in the second term, I can take 2 as common because 6 and 8 both comes in 3 tables. So again, I will be left with 3x plus 4. And again, you can see 3x plus 4 is here also and here also. So I can take 3x plus 4 common. So I will be getting the final answer as 3x plus 4 into x plus 2. Okay, so this is the complete factorization. Now next question. 3y square plus 14y plus 8. It means you have to find two numbers whose sum will be 14 and whose product will be 3 into 8, which will give me 24. Now for the same number only, you have seen on the top I have written the options. So from here only we can see first is 2 and 12. So product is 24, and if I add it, I am getting 14. So it means I have to split the middle term as 2y plus 12y. So I will write 3y square plus 2y plus 12y plus 8. And then from the first two term I can take y common. So it will be 3y plus 2. From the second term I can take 4 common. So here I can take 4 3s are 12, 4 2s are 8. So my answer will be y plus 4 into 3y plus 2. So this will be the answer. Now moving to the next question. Now you can pause the video and try to solve by yourself. Okay, so pause the video and try to solve. So in question number 31, 3z square minus 10z plus 8, if you see the sum should be minus 10 and product should be 3 into 8, 24. So you have to find two numbers whose sum you should get as minus 10 and product you should get as 3 into 8, which will give you 24. Now here you have to see that the sum is in negative. Now when you will get sum negative and product positive? So product will be positive if you have the negative number. Okay, the negative number, it should be even number of time, then only the product will be positive. It means your both the number which you will take, sum should be minus 10 and the product should be positive. So both the number will be negative number. So if already I have written the options here, right? 2, 12, 3, 8, 4 and 6. So if you can see here, if I take minus 4 and minus 6, if I add minus 4 and minus 6, I will get minus 10. If I multiply minus 4 and minus 6, I will get 24. It means I have to split it as 3z square minus 4z minus 6z plus 8. Okay. Now I can take z common from the first two terms. It will be left with 3z minus 4. From the second term I can take 2 common. So I will get 3z minus 4. And you can see in both the term 3z minus 4 is present. I can take that also common, 3z minus 4. So from first term I will be left with z and the second term minus 2. So this is the factorization of question number 31. So you have to be little bit careful now. See, if it is negative, you have to now think what you have to do such that sum will be negative and product will be positive. We have studied in integers chapter, right? If the negative sign is even number of time, the product is going to be positive. Okay. So you have to use the concept of integers also in splitting and writing. Okay. In the previous two questions, sum and product both were positive. So there were no issues. But here sum is negative and product is positive. So you have to think about it. Now moving to the next question. Question number 32, 2x square plus x minus 45. So here if you can see, sum is 1 and the product is 2 into minus 45. Now 2 into minus 45 will give you minus 90, isn't it? So now you have to think which two number you will take such that the sum is positive and the product is negative. Now when sum will be positive? You have to think when sum will be positive, when you add two integers and the greater integer is positive, then only the sum will be positive. And product is negative, it means from the two numbers, one of the number is negative. So 90, it comes in which table? So if we can write directly, 9 into 10 is 90, isn't it? 9 times 10 will give me 90. But here it is minus 90 and sum is positive. It means the greater number should be positive, the smaller number will be negative. You can see if you add 10 and minus 9, you are going to get positive 1, isn't it? So you have to split it like 2x square plus 10x minus 9x minus 45. And now you have to take common. So 2x I can take common, so it will become x plus 5. Now from the last two term I am taking minus 9 common, so it will be also x plus 5. So don't get confused that here it was minus 45, how it became plus, because outside the bracket there is a negative sign, right? You multiply and see, minus 9 into x is minus 9x, minus 9 into 5 is minus 45. Okay, so you have to be little careful when there is a negative. Now after that I can see x plus 5 is present here also and here also. So I can take x plus 5 common. So from the first term I will be left with 2x, and from the second term I am left with minus 9. So this is the factorization. Okay, now I'm moving to the next question. Now question number 33. 6p square plus 11p minus 10. So here also you have to find two numbers whose sum will be 11, okay, and the product will be 6 into minus 10. Now 6 into minus 10 will give you minus 60. Now if you see the product is negative, it means whatever two number you will choose, one of the number will be negative. Now which number will be negative, bigger number or a smaller number? That you have to see from the sum. Sum is positive. It means bigger number will have the positive sign, then only the sum will be positive, and the smaller number will have the negative sign. Now 60 comes in the table of 1 also. So if I can take minus 1 into 60 will give me minus 60, but the sum of minus 1 and 60 is not 11. So this is not the correct option. Next I can take minus 2 into 30. This will also give me minus 60, but sum of minus 20 and 30 is not 11. Next I can take minus 3 into 20. Again minus 3 and 20 if I add, I am not going to get 11. Next is minus 4 into 15. This will give me minus 60. And if I add minus 4 and 15, I am going to get 11. So it means now I have to write it as 6p square plus 15p minus 4p minus 10. Now 15p minus 4p you can write in any order. First you can write minus 4p plus 15p also, or 15p minus 4p. Okay, both are correct. Now next, find the common factor in first and the second term. So I can see 3 table both 6 and 15 comes, and p is also common. So I will take 3p common. So I will be left with 2p plus 5. In the last two term, if we can see, I can take minus 2 common, because 2 table 4 and 10 both comes. So I will be left with 2p plus 5. Now in both the term you can see 2p plus 5 is present. So I can take 2p plus 5 common. So first term I will be left with 3p, and in the second term minus 2. So this is the factorization. Now moving to question number 34. So here it is given 2x square minus 17x minus 30. So again you have to find two numbers whose sum will be minus 17 and the product will be 2 into minus 30. So sum should be minus 17 and the product should be 2 into minus 30, which will give you minus 60. Now here you can see product is also negative, sum is also negative. Sum will be negative only if from the two number the greater number is having a negative sign, right? And product will be negative, it means any one number is negative. So it means whatever two number you will choose, the greater number should be negative and smaller number will be positive. Now already here if you see I have written all the options, isn't it? So if you see this option 3 and 20, okay, 3 and 20 will give me 3 and 20. So I can write it as 3 into minus 20, because sum is negative, so greater number should have the negative sign. So 3 into minus 20 is minus 16, and if I add 3 and minus 20 I am going to get minus 17. So I have to write it as 2x square minus 20x plus 3x minus 30. Okay, now let's take common. So I can take 2x common from the first two terms. So I will be left with x minus 10. From the last two term I can take 3 common. So again I am left with x minus 10. Now x minus 10 is common here and here both. So I can take x minus 10. So from the first term I am left with 2x. From the second term I am left with plus 3. So this is the factorization. So hope now it will be a little bit clear, like how to split when sum is negative and product is positive, or when sum is negative and product is also negative. Then how to pick the number, which number will have a negative sign, that all. Now slowly you will able to understand. Okay, so you have to practice more and more. These type of questions are really going to be very, very helpful in grade 9. And maybe in some school they may teach this also in grade 8. Okay. So I am covering everything, whatever is possible and whatever is important. Now question number 75. 7y square minus 19y minus 6. So here also the sum should be minus 19. You have to find out two numbers whose sum is minus 19. And product should be 7 into minus 6, which is minus 42. So it's like a previous question only where sum and product both were negative. And what did I say? When sum and product both is negative, then the greater number will have the negative sign and the smaller number will be positive. So 42, if you can see, it comes in two table, right? So 2 into 21 will give me 42, but it is negative. So I can write 2 into minus 21, which will give me minus 42. And if you add 2 and minus 21, you will get minus 19. So you have to write it as 7y square minus 21y plus 2y minus 6. Now take common 7y, so it will be y minus 3. In the last two term, I can take 2 commons, it will be again y minus 3. So y minus 3 is present in both the terms, I can take common. So I will be left with 7y in the first term and plus 2 in the second term. So this is the factorization. Now moving to the next question. Question number 36, it is 28 minus 31x minus 5x square. So again, if you can see here, the sum should be, you have to find two numbers whose sum should be minus 31 and the product should be 28 into minus 5. And what is 28 into minus 5? If you multiply, you will get minus 140. So now you have to do so many combinations. So first I'm going to start with two table, and as we can see sum is negative and product is also negative. So it means the greater number will have the negative sign. So if I take two table, 2 times 70 will give me 140, but it is negative. So 2 times minus 70 is minus 140. But if I add 2 and minus 70, I'm not going to get minus 31. So next 3 table 140 does not come. So next I have to move with 4 table. So 4 into minus 35 will give me minus 140. And if I add 4 and minus 35, I am getting minus 31. So it means I have to split it as 28 minus 35x plus 4x minus 5x square. And 28 and 35, what is the common factor? So 7 is a common factor. So 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5 is 35. From the second term, I can take x common. So it will be 4 minus 5x. And 4 minus 5x is common in both the places, isn't it? It is present in both. So I can take common. So from the first term, I am left with 7. Second term, I am left with plus x. So this is the factorization. So when you are solving these questions, if you are able to understand it, please pause the video and try to solve by yourself. Okay, it is going to be really very helpful. Now I'm moving to the next question. Now question number 37. 3 plus 23z minus 8z square. So here you have to find two numbers whose sum will be 23 and the product will be 3 into minus 8, which is minus 24. So sum should be 23 and the product of two numbers should be 3 into minus 8, which will give you minus 24. Now you have to see product is negative. It means two number whatever you will choose, one of the number is negative. Now which number will be negative? The greater one or the smaller one? So for that you have to see here, sum is positive. And when you will get sum positive? When the greater number is positive, right? So you have to choose two numbers whose product is minus 24, sum is 23, and just now I have told you the greater number should be positive and the smaller will be negative. So let's do the possible combination. So I can see here that 24 comes in one table, so 1 into 24 is 24, but here is negative 24, so I can write minus 1 into 24 as minus 24, right? And if I add minus 1 and 24, I will get 23. So it means I have to split the middle term as 24z minus 8z square. Now see, this first I have written 24z minus z. You can change the order also. You can first write 3 minus z plus 24z minus 8z square also. Both is fine. Now from the first two terms 3 and 24, I can take 3 common. So I will be left with 1 plus 8z. From the last two term, I can take minus z common. So I will be left with 1 plus 8z. Okay, you can check. Minus z into 1 is minus z and minus z into 8z is minus 8z square. Now in both the term 1 plus 8z is present, so I can take that common. So 1 plus 8z if I take common, I will be left with 3 minus z. So this is the factorization. Now moving to next question. 6x square minus 5x minus 6. It means you have to find two numbers whose sum is minus 5 and the product will be 6 into minus 6, which will give you minus 36. Now here sum is also positive, sum is negative, product is also negative. So product is negative means one of the number will be negative. Now which number will be negative? So that you have to see from here. Sum is negative. So when sum will be negative? When the greater number will have a negative sign, isn't it? So now you have to see all the possible cases by keeping in mind that the greater number will have the negative sign. So 2 table 36 comes, 2 into minus 18 will give you minus 36, isn't it? But the sum of 2 and minus 18 is not minus 5. So move to next option. 3 into minus 12 is also minus 36, but the sum of 3 and minus 12 is not minus 5. Next, 4 into minus 9 is also minus 36, and the sum of 4 and minus 9 is minus 5. So it means I have to split it as 6x square plus 4x minus 9x minus 6. So now let's take 2x common. In the first two terms, I will be left with 3x plus 2. And in the last two term, I can take minus 3 common. So it will be 3x plus 2. Now in both the term, you can see 3x plus 2 is present. So I can take common. So 3x plus 2, I will be left with in the first term with 2x and in the second term minus 3. So this is the factorization. So now if you do more and more practice, immediately you will come to know that how to split the middle term. Okay, now I am showing you all these options like this you can get, but you can do it mentally also, but it will be possible only if you have done lot of practice. Now moving to next question. Question number 39. 3m square plus 24m plus 36. Now if you see here all the three terms, 3, 24 and 36, all these numbers comes in 3 table. It means I can say 3 is a common factor. So first take the common factor. Okay, you have to take the common factor here. So if you take the common factor 3, you are going to get this as m square plus 8m plus 12. Now this is your factorization. Now I am going to factorize m square plus 8m plus 12. So if you see here, your sum is going to be 8 and the product is 1 into 12, which is 12. Okay, because here a is 1. Now you have to find two numbers whose sum is going to be 8 and the product is 12. So start with 2 table. So 2 into 6 will give you 12 and the sum of 2 and 6 is 8. So it means you have to split it as 3 into m square plus 2m plus 6m plus 12. Now you can take m common from the first two terms, it will be m plus 2 plus 6 common from the last two term, again it is m plus 2, and you can see here both the term is having m plus 2, so I can take that common. So I will be left with m plus 6. So this is the factorization. Now you can factorize this without taking 3 common also. But then what will happen once you factorize here in one of the expression you will get 3 will be common and then you have to take it out. So like that also you can do. But if I have taken 3 common here, my factorization become more easier. Okay. Now moving to next question. Question number 40. 4n square minus 8n plus 3. So here you can see you have to find two numbers whose sum is minus 8 and the product is 4 into 3, 12. So you can see sum is negative but product is positive. So it means your both the number which you will choose, both will be having negative sign, because you know that two integers when it will give a positive answer when you have negative sign even number of time, isn't it? So both the number will have the negative sign. So now 12 comes in which table? Let's start with 2. So minus 2 into minus 6 will give you positive 12, right? And if you add minus 2 and minus 6, you are going to get minus 8. So it means you have to write it as 4n square minus 2n minus 6n plus 3. Now take 2n common. So it will be 2n minus 1. And here you have to take minus 3 common. So again 2n minus 1. Now 2n minus 1 is present in both the places, so take common. So you will be left with 2n minus 3. So this is your factorization. Now moving to the next question. Question number 41. 6x square minus 17x minus 3. So you have to find two numbers whose sum will be minus 17 and the product will be 6 into minus 3, which will give you minus 18. Now product is negative, it means from the two number one number will be negative. Sum is negative means the greater number will have the negative sign. So let's start doing all the combination. First minus 18 will come in one table, so I can write it as 1 into minus 18 is minus 18, and if I add 1 and minus 18 I will get minus 17. So I can split it as 6x square minus 18x plus x minus 3. And if I take 6x common, it will be x minus 3. In the last two term, nothing is common. We know that 1 is a factor of all the numbers. So I will take 1 common. So it will be x minus 3. Now x minus 3 is present in both the place. I can take x minus 3 common. So I will be left with 6x plus 1. Now moving to the last question. 7x square minus 19x minus 6. So again you have to find two numbers whose sum is minus 19 and the product will be 7 into minus 6, which will give you minus 42. Now product is negative means whatever two number will be there, one of the number will be negative. And sum is negative means the greater number will have the negative sign. So let's start checking all the combination. So let's start with the 2 table. So 2 into minus 21 will give minus 42. And if I add 2 and minus 21, I am getting minus 19. So let's split. So 7x square plus 2x minus 21x minus 6. Now from the first two term, I can take only x common. So it will be 7x plus 2. From the last two term, I can take minus 3 common. So again, I will be left with 7x plus 2. Now 7x plus 2 is present in both the place. So I will take 7x plus 2 common. And from the first term I have left with x, and from the second term minus 3. So this is the factorization. So this is the last question for today's class, and if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends also. So that's all for today's class. See you in my next video. Bye.